Does Intel have the capability to do this? Is that a big deal that they're sending a lifeline to the autos?
Well, look, 6 to 9 months would be incredibly rapid for something in automotive. I would expect the qual process to take at least that long, although in some sense, it sort of shows you how desperate the auto vendors probably are, right? So if Intel can try to pull that qualification process in that time frame, then that would be a positive. My guess is this would probably be on Intel's lagging nodes, which for them is 22 nanometer, which for Intel is actually a robust process. And maybe if they could do it, it would be some indicator that they can actually try to get some traction here. But at the same time, I think 6 to 9 months is a fairly optimistic time frame. So we'll see. But I think it does, in some sense, also, like I said, play to probably the current desperation of the auto vendors that they're willing to take a step like this, where they tend to be very cautious under ordinary circumstances when they're exploring new manufacturing options.
Stacey, on the topic of timeframes, as it relates to the White House meeting today, I mean, how quickly can things be rectified in terms of making the U.S. more self-dependent? And do you think any of the announcements today make a difference?
No, so you have to be careful. The situation about the shortages and the situation about the U.S. being, too dependent on Asia for semiconductor manufacturing, those two things have nothing to do with each other. They're two distinct and separate issues. Now, the shortages issues are helping to spur the broader conversation around more investments broadly in the U.S. for semiconductors to try to break that strategic tie to Asia. And I think that's a good thing, but they don't have anything to do with each other. It'll take years. I mean, they'll have to deploy the money. It takes years. The tools themselves have long lead times. You need to get demand. You can't just build factories and then wait around and have customers, just wait around for customers to show up and fill them. They need to be built in conjunction. So we'll need efforts around customer acquisition. You need to find staffing, immigration reform, education reform. There's a lot that needs to happen here. But I do think it's important to decouple the shortages from the broader strategic issues. But the shortages, to the extent that they are driving the conversation or stimulating the conversation to try to get those critical investments made, I think that's a positive.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.